Welcome to the Metal Prognosis. My name is Lee, and on today's video of Pedal to the Metal, we are looking at a pedal by the company of Dr.J, which I've never used before. And the pedal that we're looking at for them is the BladeMaster Distortion. Killer name, absolutely killer name. So hopefully it does sound decent and I wasn't just fooled by marketing. But one thing I will confess, when I first saw this on sale, over the fancy interwebs, this looked a hell of a lot bigger than what it is. So I was quite surprised when I grabbed it out of the box. But as we've shown in the past, size doesn't matter. It's all about how good does it actually sound. So like all my pedal to the metal videos, I'll put a little camera to this, we'll dial in a tone, and I'll talk through my thoughts while I'm doing it. See what type of metal it inspires me to play. I'll do a quick recording with a full band accompaniment of drums and bass, and then we'll have a chat about it afterwards. So let's get to it and see how this little BladeMaster sounds. So now we have everything set up, the BladeMaster's ready to go. Like all my videos, let me show you what the clean sounds like first. So that's a clean. Now let's turn on the BladeMaster and see what happens. Green light, that's good. We shouldn't have any volume. We do not, because we haven't turned the master up. So we have a master level. Start by turning that up. So straight off the bat, we get a bit of grunt, which is promising. So we have gain, high, mid, and low. That's interesting, so I don't know what would be the better way to go. Should they go low, mid, high? Or are they correct by going high, mid, low? I don't know to say, but at least we know which one's which because they're nicely labelled. So let's just chuck them all at 12 o'clock for now and see what we get. All right, so that definitely adds a lot of volume to the mix as well. Get a bit more master. All right, good start. Let's see what it sounds like with the gain. Crank it. Hear that hiss? Doesn't make a huge difference that adding that much gain. Like you can hear it pushing because you've got the hiss coming through, but doesn't really shape the dynamics of the tone much at all. So I'll just leave it at 12 for now. A little bit too much lows, so I'm going to bring up the mids a bit to see if we can just clean up the sound. So I've got the lows turned fully as low as it can go. And it's still got a lot of low end in it as well. So yeah, this EQ parameters here throwing me a little bit. It's not bad, it's just throwing me because, yeah. Let me crank the mids and the highs. The distortion is sounding good. I don't mind the sound of the distortion. I don't mind it that much. Turn it up a bit overall. But yeah, I'm just really thrown by the EQing because I've got the highs and the mids pushed to the max. So it should be ear piercing. It should be hitting those frequencies where it's ugly, but it's not. It's interesting. Now, there is a wow button here. As if you're not going to hit the wow button. Let's see what the wow button does. A little bit confused by that wow button because it seems like when I put it to the down position, it's activated. And I felt like it had a lot more of a push to it. Where when I put it to the up position, it added a lot of bottom end and we lost a bit of clarity, but there's an arrow pointing up. So I don't know if that's just not the best way to label it to figure out which way. Wow, because the up arrow is referring to is giving it a big boost. But you got to turn it down to get it up. So that's a interesting little way of doing it. Okay, Dr. J. Which means while I was first originally dialing in the tune, the wow button was already on. So I'm EQing around the already boosted signal, which is no problem at all. It's just nice to know. So Yeah, so it seems to handle leads and rhythm not too badly. Um, my only concern is, and it's going to be absolutely answered probably in about 40 seconds to a minute, is because I've dialed down the lows so much, as absolutely down as far as they can go down. Um, it hasn't fully disengaged that frequency. So, and I've got the mids and the highs pushed as high as they can. I can't go any higher. So they haven't got any extra little boost at the end of the, I don't know how to describe it. The limit of how far you can turn the knob. Because normally at the very tail end of it, for the last couple of millimeters, it gives it an extra little oomph. So it hasn't done that, which is fine. That's what it is. But because I've got these up so high and that low down as far as it can, a little bit paranoid that when I add it to a full mix, we're going to be doubling up on that low, and it might turn in maybe a little bit too muffled. So yeah, I'm going to do it right now and see, and then all my questions are going to be answered. But yeah, let's see what you think. Do you think now with this sound here? Other than that note slip I just had. So with that tone there, doubling up, do you think that's going to oversaturate the low end? And that mean, are we going to take away some of the characteristics of the drums, and are we going to lose a little bit of the bass guitar in it all because it's going to sound too muffled down there? Or do you think it's going to be okay? Yeah. Think about your predicament now, hold it up there, and let's go to a song and find out. And just for the record, when I do mix in the song and all that, I'm not going to do any extra EQing and mucking around with it to try and make it fit in as best as possible. I'm going to keep to the sounds that we have done right here. Well, otherwise it's cheating. And yeah, we want to know what the BladeMaster can do just as a BladeMaster, not as in how far can we push it in a full studio mix, because that's a completely different journey. And a lot longer video to do if we were. But for now, this is what we're working with. And I have babbled on long enough for this setup, dialing up section of the video. So let's get to jamming. Time for my final thoughts on the BladeMaster Distortion by DJ Effects. So firstly, starting off from the beginning of the journey, when I first turned it on, it had a nice grunt straight away to it, which I really like. But in saying that, when I started dialing the gain, it didn't really shape the characteristics enough for my liking. It kind of, what you got straight off the bat is what you get from this. The EQ section, I'm big on EQing my guitar and shaping it to how I like it and how I'm feeling whatever riffs I'm coming up with. And yeah, this EQ had to be extreme on or extreme off. And even with that, I wasn't satisfied with how much I was actually getting from it. So, which is something we kind of touched base on just before I did the jam was the low end. What were your thoughts on it now you've actually heard the song? Because now is definitely the time to chime in. Did you think that when I added the left to right guitars together, doubling up on them in the recording, was it too much low end, or was I just overreacting and I had ear fatigue, which can definitely happen. Both things, me getting ear fatigue and overreacting. But my thoughts at the moment, and this has not been able to have a chance to reflect on it and talk and like listen to it and think about it more. So during the editing phase, I'll probably be talking to myself going, you may have misheard it. But from where I'm here right now, I definitely felt the low dynamics that this pedal brought was too much. I felt like it was far too, not quite overbearing, but definitely too saturated in the low end, which made it sound a little bit too muffled. And I prefer more, what's the right word? More clarity, so I can define the notes a little bit more while I'm playing. Because the tune that I kind of came up with to jam along with was kind of like kick back, a little bit more half beat. Because I felt like with this, I didn't want to do anything more busy or complex, because I felt like all the notes might have been lost and just kind of muffled together, which is the absolute thing you don't want in a distortion. Yeah, so the gain, pushing the gain, didn't shape enough of that distortion at all. EQing didn't really help. The wow button was pretty cool. That definitely cleaned it up a bit compared to when I turned it off and on. But still, I felt like there was too much bottom end rolling into this, which, in saying that, I was playing in C tuning. And if I pulled out my 7-string guitar that's in G tuning, which is a hell of a lot lower, I have full confidence that the notes would absolutely get more lost. And yeah, I'm not confident this could handle a 7-string tuning at all. But not to say that the pedal is bad, it's just not fit for how I approached it and what I look for when I'm looking for a distortion. So in saying that though, what are your thoughts? How did you feel when I doubled up on the guitars and did the band mix? How did you feel while I was dialing in a tone? Was it a case of I was onto something really good and like usual got distracted and went down the wrong path? Or do you feel like that I actually did get the most out of what I could with this pedal on how I set it up and how I did it? Do you think I should have added more pedals to it and added other elements to it to help enhance it or not? Definitely tell me your thoughts. Yeah, it's a cute little pedal. It does have a lot of oomph to it, which is nice. Just not the oomph that I'm after. Not a bad thing. Just it is for other people and just not for me, for what I'm using it for. So in saying that, time to do my sign off. So whether this video is in the foreground or the background, definitely appreciate your company. And if you could please leave a like and comment below, let your friends know. And I'd really love to grow this channel into something more than what it is. So any reach out you do is not only appreciated, but it does actually help out a lot. So please, until next time, stay safe. You didn't want to be in this video, Piper. No, you wanted to sit down there. That's okay. I mean, it's okay. I can't tell you what to do. You do your own thing.